Academy. I'm going to be reciting Winston Churchill Never Give In. Almost a year has passed since I came down here at your headmaster's kind invitation in order to cheer myself and cheer the hearts of a few of my friends by singing some of our own songs. The 10 months that have passed have seen very terrible, catastrophic events in the world. Ups and downs, misfortunes. But, can anyone sitting here this afternoon, this October afternoon, not feel deeply thankful for what has happened in the time that has passed, and for the very great improvement in the position of our country and of our home? Why, when I was here the last time, we were quite alone, desperately alone, and had been so for 5 or 6 months. We were poorly armed. We are not so poorly armed today, but then we were very poorly armed. We had the unmeasured menace of the enemy and their air attacks still beating upon us. And you yourselves had had the experience of this attack. And I expect that you're beginning to feel impatient, that there has been this long lull with nothing particular turning up. But we must learn to be equally as good at what is short and sharp and what is long and tough. It is generally said that the British are often better at the last. They do not expect to move from crisis to crisis. They do not expect that every day will bring up some noble chance of war. But when they very slowly make up their minds that the thing has to be done and the job put through and finished, then, even if it takes months, if it takes years, they do it. Another lesson I think we may take, in just throwing our minds back to our meeting here 10 months ago, and now, is that appearances are often very deceptive. And as Kipling well says, we must meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same. You cannot always tell from appearances how things will go. Sometimes imaginations make things out to be far worse than they are. Yet without imagination, not much can be done. Those people who are imaginative see many more dangers than perhaps exist, certainly many more than will happen. But they must also pray to be given that extra courage to carry out this far-reaching imagination. But for everyone, surely what we have gone through in this period, I am addressing myself to the school. In what we have experienced in this period of 10 months, surely this is the lesson. Never give in. Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty. Never give in except to the convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy. We stood alone almost a year ago, and to many countries it seemed our account was closed. We were finished. All of this tradition of ours, our songs, all school history, all of the history of this part of the country were gone and finished and liquidated. Very different is the mood today. Britain, of the nations had thought, had drawn a sponge across her slate. But we stood in the gap. There was no flinching, no thought of giving in. And by what seemed almost a miracle to those outside these islands, yet we ourselves never doubted it, we now find ourselves in a position where I say we have nothing more but to persevere and to conquer. You sang here a verse of a school song. You sang that extra verse written in my honor, by which I was greatly complimented by. But there is one word in it I wish to alter. I wanted to do so last year, but did not venture to. It is the line, "Not lest we praise in darker days." I have obtained the headmaster's permission to alter darker to sterner. Not lest we praise in sterner days. Do not let us speak of dark days. Let us speak rather of sterner days. These are not dark days, these are great days, the greatest our country has ever lived in. And we must all thank God, each of us, according to our stations, that we've been allowed to live in and make part of these days the most memorable and honorable in the history of our race. Thank you.